Last week, I started this series off by talking about what it means to cultivate the fruit of the Spirit, illustrating how the most important part of cultivating the fruit of the Spirit is that it is not what we do, but what God does in us. We simply do the habits and the practices and the disciplines of Jesus to allow for the soil to be healthy and ready for God to act and grow inside of us. And you can only grow the fruit of the Spirit insofar as you can be attached to the true vine, which is in Jesus. And so if you haven't read or seen that post yet, make sure you go and watch it so you can start the series off understanding everything we're going to talk about. This week, though, we are talking about how to find and cultivate joy. Now, put simply, there are four main things that I believe are integral to allowing joy to grow and foster in your life. The first is very simple. Keep your mind and your body healthy. Eat, sleep, and drink. You see, all three of these are spiritual disciplines, or they are related to them. If you are eating junk food that fatigues you, if you're not getting enough sleep that your body needs, why would you not be surprised by being irritable and therefore joyless in our lives? You see, your body is a temple. Treat it that way, and you'll find out how much more you experience God's goodness and His joy. The second thing I believe we have to do is actually a fruit of the Spirit in of itself. We have to create peace. To have joy, you must have peace. And to have peace, you must have joy. You see, they go together. Thomas Merton writes that we cannot be at peace with others because we are not at peace with ourselves. And we cannot be at peace with ourselves because we are not at peace with God. And when we do not have peace with God, it then ends up leaking into our other relationships, our relationship with ourselves, and it stifles peace further. Finally, this absence of peace within ourselves and the absence of peace with God invades our peace with other people. And this is what it means to have shalom. To have shalom, as the Bible describes it, is to have peace with all three aspects of the human life. And this is why partly Jesus makes such an emphasis to tell us to be reconciled to God and to others. He says in the Sermon on the Mount to leave our sacrifice at the altar and go and be reconciled to a brother or sister who holds something against you. Paul writes in 2 Corinthians that we have been reconciled by God through Christ and in turn given the ministry of reconciliation ourselves. So putting it all together, be reconciled to those around you, give and seek forgiveness, and you will begin to feel joy, begin to bubble up if in your life, if for no other reason than you have eliminated those points of tension in your life. And the third one I can personally attest to this recently, get out in nature. Experience God's creation, what He has created for you. David writes in Psalm 19 that the heavens declare the glory of God and the skies proclaim His glory. Now, furthermore, Paul writes in Romans that God's invisible qualities, His divine nature, has been found in and attested to by creation itself. You see, one of the easiest ways to encounter God and put yourself in a place where you're able to hear from Him and cultivate His joy is by being in the very creation that brings Him joy. And something integral to nature that many of us in our 21st century Western culture, myself included, have often forget. You see, studies have shown time and time again that people who spend time in nature, outside in God's creation, have more happiness, reduced mental distress, and enhanced well-being. And all of that leads to my final point. Eliminate hurry. More and more over the past few months, I have become certain that hurry and speed are the antithesis of a healthy spiritual formation. Dallas Willard and John Mark Comer endlessly attest to this idea. Even the French priest Vincent de Paul once wrote, "Whoever hurries delays the things of God." I cannot stress this enough. If you want to experience joy in your life, if joy is missing and you desperately want to find it, rearrange your life, however possible, where you can slow down, look up, and give space and time for God to miraculously intersect with your life. So, until next week, friends, go in Christ.